Hi everyone, Sam here. Tonight, I'm going to talk a little more about Element X stabilizers. 2 days ago I put a video out and I got into some of the details as far as how they handle energy, the way they dissipate energy, and I want to elaborate further on that. You may know, probably don't though, within our team some of the people certainly do, but a couple months ago now we made a change to our Element X design. Previous to its current form, the Element X had vortex material inside like it does now, but it also had 1 ounce of steel weight embedded within that vortex material. And when we made some adjustments, we switched from using that internal weight to all external weights. So if you go back to the first generation of Element X, what it was the same alloy, same thickness, etc. Vortex material, internal steel weight, and it had a 1 ounce weight cap. Then we moved to the point where it still had the internal weight, but it had 2 steel end weights. So it went up 1 ounce. And then we removed the internal weight and went to 3 end weights, which is the current form. So I'm noticing some things with the new generation of these stabilizers, and it's actually a very encouraging thing because it's showing even further how effective the stabilizers really are. But that may not be what people are understanding about them when they shoot them. So I'm going to take a step back in time now and talk about something that will undoubtedly reveal my age because of what I know when it comes to the bow hunting world and the things that I've seen and experienced. But way back in the day, there was a stabilizer called the Saunders, it's the company, Torque Tamer. And the Saunders Torque Tamer had a flexible joint that allowed the stabilizer to react and, in theory, according to what they advertised, control torque of the bow better. I did actually have one of those stabilizers way back when, and it did work. And I find it interesting that design faded away. So that stabilizer was counterintuitive to some degree to what people understood historically about what a stabilizer should do. People think light as possible, as rigid as possible, as much weight forward as possible. And there's certainly a lot of evidence to back up that does work for accuracy. But there's also a lot of evidence now that we're seeing in our stabilizers to suggest that the ability to react to the energy and to not have a knuckle or a flexible joint like that stabilizer did, but in a sense operate in a similar fashion, that is effective for controlling torque and further quieting the bow. Now, what I discussed in that previous video 2 days ago, I talked about that excess energy. We need to find a way to dissipate that. We need to find a way to mitigate that, or the likelihood is it comes out in the form of additional noise and or the bow having the tendency to move more than you'd like it through the shot process. So I've been shooting these, I just put these on. These are our new generation stabilizers. These are tap camo fluorescent green. Really like them. One thing that's noticeable about these is you can detect just after the shot, you can feel the rapid snap back that the stabilizer is making. It's not moving very far, but I can feel it having that degree of flexibility we want. This might be unsettling to some people because they're not used to that concept. Carbon fiber does not behave in the same way titanium does. Most people are shooting carbon fiber stabilizers or a very rigid design of some type. This is rigid for all intents and purposes until it's exposed to that high level of rapidly dispersed energy. So it's operating in a very similar fashion to the Torque Tamer. And in shooting these newer generations, I'm seeing this bow be more controlled through the shot than I've ever seen it. It is more forgiving than I've ever seen it. And it is quieter than I've had it in the past. And I was shooting the previous generation of Element X just until a few days ago, and I decided I would put these on. It complements the bow really nice. And so I started thinking about, have we even enhanced further the capabilities of this product? And it does seem like that is the case. So I'm putting out this to give people that assurance that if they feel that on their bow, they may or may not, depends on the bow, depends on the poundage, depends on the arrow weight, there's a lot of factors that go into that. But you can be assured that it is occurring even if you're not detecting it. I want people to know that that is what we want from this product. And even though it contradicts in many ways what people's philosophy is on stabilizers, it's effective. And I'm not going to say that we completely have that boiled down in terms of the step-by-step explanation for exactly, precisely how it works, but we know it does. So that's what I wanted to give you as the viewer, that assurance that it does. I've dealt with some people who have our product, and I think that threw them off because they did not expect it. They didn't know what it really meant to the average archer, to the bow hunter who's always used certain types of products. That would be probably in their mind an indication of a faulty or inferior product. But this is doing exactly what I intended these to do. Ultimately producing more consistency in your shots, better overall accuracy and grouping, and quieting the bow down. So, as I mentioned in that other video, there is a trade-off. You're going to have certain things, noticeable traits, that may crop up in exchange for getting that improved performance. So I would much rather have that little bit of feel at the end after my arrow is all but in the target. I was shooting it at 30 yards today, and I noticed that I wasn't really able to detect that until the arrow had essentially been entering the target already, or was all but at the target. So if you're concerned that you felt that and it would impact, maybe you would react to it as the arrow was leaving, causing less accuracy, that simply is not physically possible. That is not the case. So again, just to kind of reiterate, the product is performing very well. I'm very pleased with this recent generation. This is what we will be driving forward with for a long time. We have it in a very refined state now. We have new outserts. We have, they're anodized, they're plated, we have plated weights. We have a better product than we have ever had, and I'm very proud of it. Stabilizers, side stabilizer mounts, quick disconnects, Generation 2 Tacticam boosters, XL Tacticam boosters, string stops. We really have a nice assortment of products for vibration control in the way we want it to be controlled. So that, again, to kind of go back over the concepts, that first video I talked about, that the goal is not total vibration suppression. It is relocation. It is redirection and mitigation of vibration and energy. So that pretty much sums it up, and I appreciate your time. As always, reach out to us, titaniumarcheryproducts.com, Instagram, titaniumarcheryproducts, and facebook.com/titaniumarcheryproducts.